Gymnastics is a sport that takes a lot of hard work and dedication, and it doesn't leave a lot of space for other endeavors, or for a lot of fun. That is probably why Simone Biles had her first chance to attempt beer pong at 24. We can check out how that went thanks to the video she posted, and then we'll see more news about gymnastics and Simone. Stick around and check it out. Firstly, Simone Biles and her first ever attempt at beer pong. Like I said, to become a world-famous gymnast takes loads of work and complete dedication, and Simone Biles is probably one of the best gymnasts that the sport has ever seen. But her dedication has meant that she's missed out on a lot of opportunities, including playing typical college games like beer pong. But she has rectified that oversight recently, and she taped the entire thing for our enjoyment. In the clip, Simone's boyfriend, NFL star Jonathan Owens, is trying to teach her how to funnel beer. It was pretty funny, and as she said herself, pretty obvious that she didn't go to college. The first attempt didn't go well and ended up with Simone spilling the liquid all over herself. We aren't sure if it was actually beer because she yelled that it was carbonated while running away, presumably to clean up or stop choking. She then tried again with less liquid, and this time she managed to gulp the drink that was streaming out of the funnel. It was much better, but Jonathan wasn't super impressed. He joked that it was terrible. It was pretty funny, and they obviously enjoyed it enough to post it on Instagram. At last, Biles has a bit of free time to learn new skills. Eventually, she might even join the beer pong Olympic event. I'm sure the Olympics would create one for her. But don't let the beer pong fool you. Simone Biles still has plenty to keep her busy. She is no stranger to magazine covers, and now she is on yet another one. She, Lizzo, and Nicole Hannah-Jones each appear on their own cover of the November-December issue of Essence magazine. The theme for the magazine is the year of radical self-care, and it is all about celebrating women who have made their own mental health a priority over the expectations of others. In her cover story, titled More Than a Medal, Biles talks about her decision to withdraw from some of the final events at the Olympics and instead to focus on her own mental health. Of course, there were loads of people who had thoughts on the subject that weren't super positive, but just as many people who supported Biles and applauded her decision. It was such an incredibly brave thing to do, and a decision that will hopefully inspire others to prioritize their mental health too. As she said, gymnasts are humans and not just athletes or entertainers. What we didn't know at the time was that she was also suffering from the twisties, a dangerous condition for gymnasts where they have the feeling that they are lost in the air. It does not sound pleasant. Taking a step back might just have been the best decision, and one that she is still content with having made. It couldn't have been an easy choice to make. Next, suffering because USA Gymnastics did not protect her. This is not the first time that Simone Biles has had to make difficult decisions that would have a severe impact on her mental health. This is a woman who has shown incredible emotional strength. But during another new interview, she has shared that she still suffers and will continue to suffer because USAG did not protect her and a bunch of other women and girls against Larry Nassar's sexual abuse. Biles had to stand up and testify against Dr. Nassar and speak about how everything that he did to her, along with other girls that were abused by the USAG doctor, she had to fight to be heard because the organization didn't do enough even after the allegations were made. Nassar had sexually assaulted at least 150 women during the 18 years that he had worked as the USAG doctor. And thanks to the women that spoke out against him, he was convicted and sentenced up to 175 years in prison. Now let's take a look into the settlement for the survivors. Still, even after Nassar went to jail, there was still a considerable amount of outrage against the US Olympic and Paralympic committees and USA Gymnastics that did not do their part to keep their athletes safe. Allegations against Nassar came in long before he was fired from his position, a position that had given him access to his victims. Even after USAG reported Nassar to the FBI in 2015, they still allowed him to continue on, allowing him to abuse at least 70 more women. It is like no one was interested in protecting these women, many of whom were just young girls at the time. But they fought back, not only against the doctor, director, but also against the organizations that's main purpose is the protection of their athletes and who did not do their job. It has been a hard battle, but finally, the survivors are getting some justice there too. The abused gymnasts will be receiving over $880 million from settlements from these organizations. And it is all thanks to these courageous women who spoke out to ensure that he didn't stay in his position and continue to hurt other women. Part of the settlement also includes a clause that a victim of abuse will be put on the board of directors of USA Gymnastics to try and make the organization better and make sure nothing like this ever happens again. Next up, we will have more Simone Biles news, including her next steps, and then we will check out what gymnasts think about Tom Forster's resignation, a Bosnian teen that has defied the odds, and so much more. What do you think of the settlements that the gymnasts received? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Simone Biles stepping away from gymnastics. After all of the hard work she has done for the sport, Simone has made the decision that she would like to step away from gymnastics for good. She is still at the top of her game, but she has also achieved so much that it makes sense that she really has achieved everything that she needs to achieve in the sport. In her career, she has accumulated an incredible 7 Olympic medals. She has 4 golds, 1 silver, and 2 bronze medals. That is seriously impressive, and it only counts the Olympic medals. The other achievements and wins she has had in her career are just as impressive. She even recently received the BBC Sport Personality of the Year's Lifetime Achievement Award, an achievement that is a huge deal and privilege. And as the gymnast said, it wasn't the year that she would expect because of her decision to withdraw from the Olympics. But it once again just showed her inner strength and makes her even more deserving of the award. Tom Forster resigning his position. The U.S. Women's Gymnastics High Performance Director Tom Forster has decided to step down from his position. The news has not gone down well for some of the gymnasts that Tom has been working with. He started working for USAG right after Larry Nassar was sentenced, and he has been praised for creating a really positive environment for the elite gymnasts that were working under his care. Athletes were encouraged to voice their opinion, and they weren't being pushed beyond limits. For example, if they are injured, then they wouldn't be forced to perform. Many gymnasts have spoken out saying what an incredible coach he is, but he has also been criticized for being too reliant on Simone Biles as his star gymnast. But with his resignation, many gymnasts seem to be unhappy with the situation. Biles herself tweeted that people need to realize that the real issue at USAG isn't Tom. The situation sounds a little bit strange, and we really hope they make sure that the person who will replace him will have the gymnast's best interests at heart. Bosnian teen gymnast defying all odds. In a really inspirational story, a teen from Bosnia, Sari Bekarovic, has worked hard to overcome all the odds and became a world-class rhythmic gymnast. She has been enchanted with the sport since she was a toddler who was watching the World Championship of Rhythmic Gymnasts on television. She quickly tried to recreate some of the moves herself and wanted to start training in the sport. Her mother supported her, but she was worried about Sarah not being accepted in the sport. You see, Sarah was born without a lower left arm, and Bosnia still has a reputation for being socially and economically exclusive for people with disabilities. And there was an added strain. Neither rhythmic gymnasts nor artistic gymnastics are represented in the Paralympics. If Sarah wants to compete, she will have to do it against able-bodied gymnasts. Luckily for Sarah and for the sport in general, she found a really great, open-minded young coach that was willing to work with her. And she is doing incredibly well, having won many national and international competitions and aiming for the Olympics eventually. With her raw talent and hard work, I'm sure we will see her there. Share your thoughts on today's stories with us in the comments section. Thanks for watching.